Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you with another video, and what have I done? Oh man, I swear, I'm only going to collect one thing, right? That's how it always starts. You're only going to collect one thing. For me, it was mainline Hot Wheels. At first when I got into this hobby, I was just going to collect mainline Hot Wheels. Nothing else. I wasn't going to buy any premium stuff. I just thought it was cool to pick those up off the pegs. And the rest is history. If you watch my channel, you understand I pick up anything in 1/64 scale. Okay, now what have I done? Well, I don't know. For some reason, I've been intrigued by 1/43 scale lately. You've got right here, this is a tried and true Auto World true 1/64 scale car, so I got this out for a good comparison. I think the Mustang's a pretty good option for that because it's kind of a, I guess, sort of medium-sized American car, we can call it. It's not too big, it's not too small. Whatever, I thought that'd be a good size to do. So I've got a 187 scale here that I just picked up. I've got one sort of 1/43 scale cars that I got previous to this whole little haul I'm about to show you. And I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of got on with the idea that I think I'm going to take pictures of them and then maybe I'll move them on. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. But I thought I would experiment with kind of photographing different scales, and I got these things dirt cheap compared to if I would have went on eBay or something for them. Got them from a Facebook seller, a Facebook group. Just a quick show you. This is a Matchbox Super Kings Porsche 959. This is technically not 1/43 scale. According to the base, it is 1/38 scale. Very cool. I kept this in my collection. I've got actually two different versions of this. Just because I don't have very many large-scale cars, but now I just kind of hauled a bunch of them, so we're going to look at all these. I'm actually excited to get these all out of the box and actually take a look at how detailed they are. And then I've got this guy was given to me by my buddy Diecast. This Ferrari, I've shown this in another video. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty detailed. 1/43 scale. I'll have to take some cool pictures of this down the line. I think that will be fun. And then the rest of these I will. I got this 187 scale car here. The only reason why I picked this up because it's Wisconsin State Patrol. But we'll get this one out first. These things weren't too cheap. $7.95 a piece for this little HO scale machine. And so HO scale is a very popular train scale. Excuse me. And these are all plastic. Rubber tires, but all plastic. But quite detailed for how tiny the thing is. And I think that that's pretty cool. So we have like an inserted details for the taillights. You can see where the posts are that go into the body. You got a actual transparent light bar. We've got headlight details as well. And quite a lot of detail in this little itty bitty 187. And it rolls. So kind of size comparison here. You got 187 scale, HO scale, and you've got 1/64 scale. Well, the Crown Vic in 187 is almost as long as the Mustang 160. Well, actually, not quite, because it's much different when you're looking at it at a different perspective here. But there you go. There's a comparison of that scale. So 187, popular train scale. 1/43 is a popular scale for car collectors, I believe mostly in Europe and stuff. People that really get into like the 1/43 scale vehicles, the detailed replica cars. And they're all like detailed replica cars. And honestly, I think what kind of got me into maybe like thinking about picking up a couple 1/43 was the fact that Hot Wheels is going to be putting out 1/43 scale cars. And I'm intrigued by those. And I thought it would be kind of cool, maybe, because I saw these, and these were inexpensive. I paid like $5 a piece for these, by the way, which is pretty inexpensive when you consider like the detail and stuff that you're going to get with these. And I got some really kind of some weirder ones, some older ones that may not be quite as detailed. We got this weird thing. I don't even know if this is really 1/43. So what I think we're going to do, we'll look at the weird stuff first, and then we'll check out the mini champs. I'm kind of just piling these up here so I can kind of grab and go. Let's start actually with this Ford Mirage Edition Limited Le Mans 1976 Ford Mirage, reference number whatever, I think 604. I don't know who made this. It's a fairly unlabeled box. Must have been a price tag or something at some time. Somebody was cataloging their collection, I think, too, and that's why that number is on. So the gentleman that I got these from on Facebook, he buys collections, and there's just random stuff that shows up. And I usually eat the random stuff up, because the other stuff, you know, the bids go a bit high for it if the item is popular. So I try to get good deals on stuff, and most of the time, the good deals can be had on the weird stuff. And that's kind of fun for me anyway. So we got an inserted headlight that's floating around in the box, which we will have to fix. I am not sure how to get into this thing. Okay, it looks like there's some literature down here. Or are those decals? Those are decals, I think. Yeah. Look at that. Wow. These are water slide decals. So, and this will give us an idea. I think this is the brand. Verum Gulf Mirage LM76. So here's the decals for it. I'm surprised these things are not like crusty and destroyed by now. A lot of the times that's going to be the case. Let's see if we have a decal guide here maybe. So here's what the car would look like all decaled up. Not sure that I am going to do it. And again, I'm not even sure if I'm going to actually hang on to this. The time will tell as to whether or not I do. I'm trying to get into... How does this thing come off the base? It's actually not screwed out. Ooh, it's just double-sided tape. Look at that. That's been around the block. Okay, so here is your Ford Mirage. And I'm going to say it's about 1/43 scale. Yeah, it says 1/43 right on here. It's all metal. It's got quite a bit of detail, actually, underneath here with the engine and stuff. Very plain looking and all white. And, of course, we have this headlight that needs some repair. Almost just shoved that right back in there, and it kind of sticks in there good. So I don't know what I should do with this. Should I try to put the water slide decals on? I don't know how well that's going to go with these being as old as they probably are. I have no idea how old they are, but they're probably pretty old. But anyway, we got to move on. But this is kind of one example of something weird that I picked up. And yeah, we'll put all that packaging back together off camera so you guys don't have to suffer through that. But weird stuff there. All right, and then we got this Solido, which is an older vehicle. 1/43 metal Renault 25-1504. Here's a look at your barcode in the back. 3 NZ plus for ages 3 and up. Is that French? Metal, hi-fi. I always try to find dates on this stuff, and I think it's going to be a challenge with these. All right. And this is screwed to the base. So we'll pop that off real quick. Kind of an interesting way to do it. It's a hi-fi. This is a high fidelity model here. Let's take a peek at that. All right, so this is a Solido, made in France, 1/43 scale, 15/4. It's cool. It's actually made in France. Pretty basic model. We've got just some basic details. We got some inserted details for tail, and we got inserted details for the headlights as well. This one appears to have opening doors, and it does. Very, very cool. Plastic base. The wheels are plastic. It's kind of a weird color pink. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool. And again, a little bit odd. Now, this isn't the stuff that I'd really be after in 1/43, I don't think, as a collector of 1/43. Or becoming a collector of 1/43, but I've got some things here just to show you what was out there. Now this is, I guess this would be a vintage 1/43 piece. I have no idea whatsoever when this came out. No clue. No clue, but I could tell you it's probably fairly older. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means came out in the 80s, 90s, you know. I don't think any later than that, probably, based on the styling of the car. But and I'm not familiar with the Renault, this actual car, so we're gonna say 80s, 90s, something along those lines, maybe a little bit older. And I could be way off. Somebody watching will probably know. Then we got the Trabant, their Trubby. 1989 here, fall of the Berlin Wall, right? I think that's what this is supposed to be depicting. Trabant, made in Portugal. It's fairly interesting. And I think this is about 1/43rd scale. I think this is a tiny little car. It's like the Harry Potter car, right? Trabant. Maybe. Interesting way to package it. It's a big, thick screw that goes in there. I don't want to lose that. Setting the packaging over here. And there's your Trabant. This is all metal. We've got rubber tires. Doesn't roll all that well. You get inserted details for headlights, painted details for the taillights, decals for, looks like, front grille, license plate, logo up there, and some stuff in the back as well. Pretty interesting little car. What do you guys think about this little guy? Is it 1/43rd scale? I don't know. This one is slightly longer than the Mustang. So, and it's probably a tiny car, I would imagine. A fairly tiny car, and it looks to be about 1/43rd. I guess you could almost size it up by the wheel size. But something like that. It's probably pretty close. Maybe 1/55th. I don't know. But there you go. But let's see. We got one more older one, or what I think is an older one. This Solido Bugatti Talente. I don't know. Solido. This one's got a flathead screw, which makes me think it's old. It's very old. Does it have I don't see any sort of year. It just says made in France, Solido. Let's try to get the case off and get the screw out so we can take a look at the car without it being in the base. So this plastic does feel pretty brittle, and it does feel somewhat old. I don't know how old. By any means, I have no idea. Again, if anybody knows anything, any information to add about these cars, please do comment it, because that would be fun to learn. We have Phillips screws in the base. Bugatti Allanti. It is 1/43rd scale, number 88, made in France. Does this one have opening doors? No, it does not. This is also a Solido, so the wheels are actually plastic. It's got a little bit of detail, but not a ton. That sound real good. So the paint's not in great shape. It's kind of like orange peely and stuff like that. So not a whole ton of detail and stuff like that. I don't really know what to say about this. It's just it's a little bit odd, and I thought it would be kind of cool to take a look at, so I picked it up. And then I've got this. I think we should look at this next before we jump into the mini champs. The mini champs are what I was kind of like really caught my eye, and the only reason why I started bidding on these, and by the way, I was like the only person bidding on them, so that's why I got them so cheap. The mini champs are really what caught my eye as far as, hey, I want to check those out, because Mini Champs is a brand that does make some 1/64 scale stuff, and I thought it would be kind of fun to see those, because I know the quality of the 1/64 scale stuff is pretty decent. So, ooh, looks like we lost a decal from the Bugatti. I don't even know if I can pick that up, but it's right here. It says Bugatti on it. It's like paper. I'm going to go set that over here. Maybe I could reattach that to the front of the vehicle. Anyway, this is Premium X. Premium X models. I know nothing of this brand. And there it is. Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special Brougham Edition. Made in China. This feels a little bit more modern. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's way more modern than the Solido stuff. No idea when this was made. We're going to find out here what it's constructed out of, I think. We've got sticker holding that down, which we're just going to get rid of, pretty much. I have to get out the Goo Gone to get rid of that tape residue. So it appears that it's never been opened before. The packaging's not in great shape, which is all these cars, the packaging isn't in great shape. So okay, this one's got some really fragile pieces, I can already tell. We've got these little windshield wipers up on the top we're definitely going to have to be careful of. This has got your kind of standard feeling for like a Chinese premium brand, because it's got this like metal, like trophy style etched thing on here that shows the details for the car. It says limited edition, all that good stuff. It looks like we've got some different languages on the bottom here, and then 2 Phillips screws holding in the model itself, which we will undo. And I'm feeling like this car might not be metal. I think it might be resin or all plastic or something. I'm not sure. It feels weird. I think it feels like it's resin. Yeah, that is not... It's got some weight to it, so it feels like not plastic. And it doesn't quite feel like plastic either, so it kind of... I think it's resin. The base is plastic for sure. So I know nothing about these Premium X's. If anybody knows anything about these, of course, let me know. We've got... it is basically a static display, it appears. Maybe this wheel we can get to move. I don't want to break the model, though. Well, kind of loosened up a little bit. It's almost like the front tire here is a little bit off the rim, and that's causing it to bind up. But, yeah, I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. I don't think these are really meant to be anything but display. We're going to say that that's probably true. Look at these little tiny... Look at those wipers. I'm afraid to even touch them, so I'm not gonna. But they look like they could possibly be made of little metal, like an etched little metal thing. And yeah, we're just not gonna do that. Plus the like window trim too. Look at that. That's like an etched metal sort of deal as well. So probably not a good idea to really handle it too much. This is not a model that you're gonna roll across to your floor or play with or anything like that. The back wheels do roll. The front ones do not, and they both, I think, rub up on the fender well. So that is not something you would play with. Okay. And although this does not feel like it's metal, it is very kind of rock solid, and it's got some weight to it, which makes me think it reminds me of a resin car. I only have like 1 or 2 resin cars in my collection, and this is what it feels like. So I'm thinking this has got to be resin. And there's that there. But it's tricky because they almost feel metal sometimes. I don't know how to explain it. If you don't have a resin car in your collection, it's kind of hard to explain. But so there's this. Got this for, I think, $5. So I think that's probably a good deal. Might end up taking pictures of it. Maybe do something cool with it. And then I may move it on. We shall see. All right. But lastly, we have mini champs. So I'm going to go through these fairly quickly because they're all going to be about the same as far as philosophy goes for how the models are constructed. And I don't think there's any real dates on these either. 1/43rd scale. We got a BMW Z3. These are all going to be on a base that has 1 screw. Very convenient to take off the base. These are all actually metal on metal as well. I'm going to try to keep this all together here. What I may do is kind of just maybe take these all off kind of at once. We'll start with like the, let's do this Volvo real quick. This is a Volvo S40. And then we'll kind of look at these all as a group, because don't really want this video to be an hour long. Kind of didn't plan this well because, we'll look at 2 at a time here. How about that? All right. Let's see if we can finish the rest of this video in like 10 minutes. So these are all metal on metal. They're metal on metal. They have rubber tires. They got inserted detail for headlights. They have inserted detail for taillights. No moving pieces or parts. No opening hood, nothing like that. But they're quite detailed. And they're pretty darn cool from what I can tell. So again, there's your inserted details for headlights, taillights. The real reason why I got these mini champs, I think it's going to be fun, these in particular, to see how these stack up, or how the Hot Wheels 1/43rd scale, when that comes up, I think later this summer they're supposed to come out, how those are going to stack up to 1/43rd scale cars that are actually already available and that just kind of are flying under the radar because they're not very popular here in the US. Do you think Hot Wheels is going to break into the 1/43rd game? So maybe I will keep these around until we get some 1/43rd Hot Wheels. I think I'll at least keep these mini champs around. But what do you think about these models so far? We've got the BMW. We got a Volvo. Let's get this one out. It's mini champs. Paul's model art. I don't know why some of these have Paul's model art on the packaging. I do not get the significance of that. I have no idea. Again, never been a 1/43rd scale collector. Never been anything but a 1/64 scale collector. So these are all very brand new to me, even though they're probably pretty old. This one's got a little tiny antenna that we need to be careful about. Take it off the base, kind of set it down, get this packaging out of the way. Check out this guy. This one is a plastic base, so that's a little different. But look at, we got that detailed hood ornament up there. Debus. So this is very cool. This is the only like race car style one that I got, so, or that they had for sale, I should say. Really cool Mercedes. Does it say exactly? Yeah, just a 190 Evo 2 Zack Speed 1 version. Very, very cool. So this thing is really neat. I don't think Mini GT did this livery at all yet for their version of this car. But quite detailed. The interior is actually quite detailed as well. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see in there. But again, just something, this is going to be a little bit beyond comparison for those Hot Wheels, but I think these other ones will be somewhat comparable. We got a Dodge Viper RT10. This I'm a really big fan of. This is actually the first car that kind of caught my eye when I was like, oh, I'm going to pick up one. I'm going to pick up one of these. And it looks like these retailed for about $23 when they came out. Is at least, that's from Asheville Diecast. I don't know, you know, if they were selling these brand new or what originally, but that's what they have on them. Is 23 bucks a piece. This is a Dodge Viper RT10. I really would want some, I want this to come out in 1/64 scale in this amount of detail and this accuracy. I think that would be great. This car has just not been done justice really by any diecast brand. You know, Johnny Lightning's done it. It's just too big. It's bigger than 1/64 scale. Hot Wheels has done it. It's not very great. They even redid the tooling and it's okay, but still. And then we've seen it, where else? I don't know. The RT10. Who else has come out with one of those? Anyway, who cares? None of them are that good, is my point. We need to see it in an actual true 1/64 scale and like looking good like this. It's such a cool looking car, really. I remember when it came out and how exciting it was. How exciting looking. This is another one, another brand that doesn't really get much love in 1/64 scale diecast. It's Saab. I don't really remember. This is a Saab 900 Saloon. And I don't know. I think it would be cool to see like Auto World come out with a Saab. Should do it. They like bought up by, oh, they were bought up by GM, I think, or whatever. The later Saabs were released by GM, I think, not Chrysler, but whatever. Anyway, this one I actually had to bid up a little bit. It's the only one I didn't get for $5. I paid a little bit extra for it, because I'm sure there's someone out there that's a diehard Saab fan that was after this one. So I apologize. I got it. Again, very detailed in the interior. We don't have any opening parts. This is all metal base, metal body. Very cool looking little car, larger than 1/64 scale, but little car. And it does have mirrored side mirrors there. So very, very cool. So the 1/43 scale world was really where you get your accurate replicas, it looks like, prior to like really having some good 1/64 scale stuff. Some really accurate 1/64 scale stuff. All right, we got a Volkswagen. Championdjk. Cute little car. Oh, I can't get it out of the package. If I could get it out. Or you gonna come out, buddy? There we go. I'm just making a mess with the packaging all over the place here. For the sake of time. Screw this guy. And there's that. This one's got, it's pretty good looking too. Got some good details. This one actually has a plastic base. So that's interesting. So some of these have metal bases, some of them do not. Cool little 1/43 scale car though. I just don't know what I'm going to do with these, right? I mean, they're a little bit bigger than 1/64, so obviously space is a concern. I don't think I'd ever want... So I should say, too, these Hot Wheels that are about to come out, okay? They're the 1/43 scale Hot Wheels. They're going to be not cheap. They're going to be like $25 each, okay? Retail at Target. So I am very curious as to how these are going to perform. How these are going to perform sales-wise in the U.S. because they're going to be Target exclusive too, and that's going to be the other thing. It'll be interesting. How are they going to do on the pegs at Target? I think they got the packaging idea and stuff right, so I think what they're doing there is correct. This one's not really a roller, but this one does have a metal base screwed together. An antenna you got to be super careful about. I don't think Hot Wheels is going to be doing anything like that. Oop, I almost knocked that Mercedes emblem off. Almost. I felt it scrape my thumb. I almost had a boo-boo there. But very, very cool. And they feel pretty robust. There's not too many fragile parts on all these. We got the little antennas. That's definitely going to be fragile. And the hood ornaments. The rest of these cars don't really have... That's got a squeak to it. The rest of these cars don't really have too much in the way of that. But here's your size comparison. We got a true 1/64 scale. And then we've got 1/43. So quite a bit bigger. And that allows you to put more you have to put more details into the cars if the cars are larger, right? You just have to. You can't just have a 1/43 scale Hot Wheels with just basic stuff. Although maybe that would be interesting. I don't know if they just basically blew up Hot Wheels into 1/43 scale and just kept them like super basic looking with basic wheels and stuff. I don't know. That might be actually kind of fun. But that's kind of what they did with these Matchbox Super Kings. Some of them. Kind of what this is, just a blown up Matchbox. So that's kind of neat. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm on the fence with these. I don't know if I'm going to keep these in my collection for a while. I don't know if I'm just going to take some cool pictures of them and get rid of them. I don't know if I'm just going to keep them until the 1/43 scale Hot Wheels stuff comes out so I can buy one or two of those and then take a peek at how these compare to it. I don't know if this is just going to open a whole new can of worms for me where I'm like looking out for 1/43 scale and kind of picking them up here and there. One thing's for certain, I don't think I'm going to pick up anything that doesn't come in like a box that I can store it in, okay? If it doesn't come in some sort of storage solution built right into picking it up, I'm not buying it. So I'm not just going to buy a loose something like this I have no way of like storing it. Like that's definitely, I'm not making that mistake no matter how cool the car is. I say that now, but let's see. And the other thing, of course, is budget. So if they're super cheap and it's a good deal, maybe I will pick them up. And again, maybe I'll move some of these along. Maybe I'll keep them. Maybe I won't. But stay tuned to the channel to find out. I mean, if you start seeing the 1/43 scale cars show up in every Diecast Weekly episode, I guess you know what happened. But I just thought these were cool to look at. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.